Hi, I'm Zach and welcome back to Life in the Crapper. It's been a long time since my last vlog, and for that I apologize. I was going to try and put one out back in January, one that kind of focused on all the typical medications one goes through to try and get themselves into remission. I was going to try and put that out right before I got married, but unfortunately things just got too crazy and I figured, oh, there's only 5 of you watching anyways, so it can wait. But it's actually probably for the best that it didn't happen, because so much has changed with the disease, and I've learned so much in the last 6 months that I think the quality of the information that I'll be able to impart to others now is just going to be a lot better than what I could have offered 6 months ago. So it's actually kind of a good thing. So just to recap what's happened in the last few months, I started the vlog and then things got crazy, and so went and got married, and it was a beautiful wedding. We were joined by friends and family, and it was just a wonderful time. We had it on Super Bowl Sunday of all times, and we were a little afraid about turnout, but everyone came out. And then when we actually got to the hotel that night, we were pleasantly surprised that the power had went out. So actually everyone was home in time and didn't miss anything of the Super Bowl. Anyways, it was a great wedding, great honeymoon, and then about a week after we got married, we packed up all of my bride's belongings and we traveled cross country, and we got to see a lot of friends and great places. Stopped in Alabama to see my friend Max, and then saw my friend Tommy in New Orleans, and we were there for Mardi Gras. And then saw my friend Mrs. Cook and Brian, her son, in Arizona, where I grew up, and so I got to show my wife where I grew up. And then we saw the Grand Canyon, and also went to Vegas and saw a Cirque du Soleil show. And so it was really cool showing Becca all of that part of the country that she had never seen before. And so then we got back and we had this great opportunity to audition for a production of Henrik Ibsen's Ghosts at Good Luck Macbeth Theatre Company, and I was able to work with my own director, professor, and mentor, Dr. James Bernardi. And so that was a really great experience, because I worked a little bit on the character of Oswald in grad school and just scene study, and so to be able to dive in full force was great, and to do it opposite my wife as Regina in it was really fantastic, because we hadn't been able to act together since my thesis showed Three Musketeers, so that was really just a blessing. And then after that, we pretty much picked up and went to Detroit, well actually Rochester Hills, Michigan, to be in my friend Rob Arbaugh's production of Macbeth for Rochester Theater's, Rochester College's first annual Summer Shakespeare Festival. And so we went out there and we taught a couple of classes, improv, Meisner, Shakespeare, and I played Macduff. I had an epic fight scene that Chad Razor, Rob, and myself all had parts choreographing. It was like 5 minutes long, and had single sword, double sword, hand-to-hand combat, unarmed. It was really great. And then Becca played like every other role in the play. She was a witch, a murderer, and just a ton of things, and she was fantastic. And then, unfortunately, when we got back, I had a bit of an emergency room scare. Well, I just had a lot of pain and nausea and dehydration. I couldn't keep anything down. And so I had to, I usually just try and put up with the pain and say I don't need it, but the fact that I couldn't swallow anything was scaring me, and the pain just got too great. So I did end up going to the emergency room, and it was bittersweet because they didn't see any signs of new inflammation. They didn't see any fistulas, abscesses, or anything like that. So it was good that there was nothing new, but at the same time it was kind of disappointing that there's no explanation for the pain, so that was confusing. So since then, my parents were like, okay, you've been seeing this specialist for about a year now. Now you need to get some second opinions and see some experts. So I went to Cedars-Sinai in LA, one of the top inflammatory bowel disease centers in the country. And then a week after that, I went to see a doctor in Billings, Montana, who is actually a proponent of this new therapy. It's not that new, but it's a triple antibiotic therapy aimed at map bacteria, the possible cause of Crohn's disease, which I'll talk more about in the future. So yeah, as you can tell, it's been kind of a crazy year, but I'm glad to be back to the vlogs. And my original purpose was to put this information out there so that people could access it in one place at one time rather than taking all the time I had. But now that I've come back to it, in the span of the last couple of months, I've seen that this disease is very individualized. What works to get one person into remission may not work for someone else, and so that when someone puts something out there that they feel has worked for them, the rest of the IBD community can be kind of suspicious of it, and rightfully so, because there's a lot of snake oil salesmen out there trying to take advantage of people's suffering. And so my thought in coming back to this is that actually for the next few vlogs I want to share a little bit about my personal story so that anyone who comes to these videos at any point in time knows that, you know, I've been through it, I'm speaking from experience, and that I'm not trying to sell anyone on anything, but that I'm just trying to help them. So that's kind of my intent for the next few videos. I'll just share a little bit about my story, and after that I'll focus on medications, special diets, alternative treatments, and things like that. So for now, I'll just say goodbye and good health. Thanks for listening. Bye.